Imagine you and your family have gathered to celebrate the life of a loved one lost. You have memorabilia, you have their ashes, and you decide to spread it as a family. A few days go by and you get a call from the mortuary saying, "Hey, so we gave you the wrong dude." Sorry. Seems like quite the oversight, now does it? For the plaintiff in today's case, that is exactly what happened. And now she is so emotionally distressed that she is suing the mortician over it. So friends, grab your beverages and your grandpa's ashes, and let's jump into this case.
You are suing Ms. Whitmore for $9,750 for negligence. You say the defendant mishandled remains, causing a devastating mistake. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct, Judge.
And Ms. Whitmore, you say the mistake was acknowledged, remedied, and compensation was offered. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
All right, Ms. Harris, please tell the court why you're here.
Yes, Judge, I'm here because the funeral home mishandled my dad's ashes for his funeral. I went to the funeral home, and 3 weeks later, I got a phone call that we had the wrong ashes.
Oh, first of all, I'm so very sorry for your loss.
Thank you, Judge.
You were notified by the funeral home.
Yes, at first I was notified by phone.
Ms. Whitmore, are you the owner of the funeral home?
That I am.
And how long have you been in business?
32 years. My dad founded the company and I stepped in 12 years ago.
Can you tell the court, how does it happen that a bereaved family could receive the wrong ashes?
This is what happened. Two names so close in similarity, Christopher Smith and Christopher Smythe, 1E. It was a crazy week. We had so much intake that we actually got from, a science mortuary intern from the Institute to help us out with intake. And
So you called us a mortuary student to help you with intake?
Intake for labeling. Just on that part, we have very fine details from that moment on. One letter.
See, I'm trying to understand, but isn't a letter usually also associated with maybe a number or some type of code or some type of labeling that also is cross-connected in writing and digitally? And I'm not sure how this happens, but
I would love to say that we are that advanced. As I said, I took it over from my father's business. We kept the same process, and it worked for years.
Did these people pass away on the same day? They weren't born on the same day.
The intake was the exact same day. And as I said...
No, not intake. I really hate that I know this much about this, but being a person who has lost many family members and has been in charge of managing the services and the homegoing services and speaking with funeral homes, there's also indicators, right? The death certificate, all of those things, there will have a date of birth and date of death.
I agree.
Because the date of death would be important because that goes to see how long the body has been, unfortunately, deceased, and how much time you would have to prepare the body, or in this case, deal with the crematorium. Are you actually doing the cremation on your premises, or are you getting that from another location?
We do it on the premises. So they went in.
Do you also do body preparation for traditional funeral services too?
That we do.
Right. So then all of these details I'm saying would be relevant, right?
Yes, they will be. And they are.
Are they logged in?
Well, they are. This was a one-off, honestly. In 32 years, one time. It's devastating for us in terms of our business practices that it actually occurred.
And so Smythe got mistaken for Smith.
Absolutely.
And then when the remains were put in the urn and all of the things, it was labeled Smith instead of Smythe.
There were two Smiths.
Two Smiths. And Smythe was an S-M-Y-T-H-E?
It was an I. We've gone over all of this. This is hindsight, you figure it all out. But when it happened, it happened.
So someone left the E off.
You got that.
And then the urn was delivered, or did you pick it up?
I picked it up.
You picked it up.
Yes. And I believe that was my father. I hold him close to my chest. I believe that was my father.
And how did you find out?
I found out through a phone call, through an office worker, through a phone call.
And how did you all discover it, Ms. Whitmore?
Your Honor, we have routine audits, and the audit company came in and was able to alert us. And at that point, that's when we had the office contact Ms. Harris, and I sat down and sent her a very detailed and apologetic email.
And not a call, not a visit?
There was so much going on, and I didn't have the full details, and I wanted to express my condolences and my apologies.
In a situation like that, I think a personal touch is the more professional way to go.
I agree.
Boy, is that awkward to be hugging some random dude's ashes. I mean, that's quite the oversight. But honestly, a pretty understandable oversight. Two people having very similar names. There's something bound to happen there. I mean, we're human, we make mistakes. Although some mistakes may be considered worse than others. Sure, giving the wrong DoorDash order away, that's a mistake. But at the end of the day, it's just food. It's not the human remains of someone's loved one. Well, yes, I do understand why the plaintiff is so upset. I'm trying to put myself in her shoes, which is difficult because I don't really understand the attachment to someone's ashes, because I believe that once you're dead, your soul moves on and your body's just your body. So having the physical ashes to me is kind of like, that's not my dad. But some people feel differently. She wanted her dad's ashes. She should have gotten her dad's ashes. So does this mean that some other rando has her dad? Are they able to do a swap-a-rooney, or did that person somehow scatter the ashes somewhere? Because that would be devastating.
And so what was your remedy?
Well, we have offered.
Or your offer?
We have offered both families. We offered a refund, and then we discussed what other types of restitution was reasonable. And the other family, the Brooks, have agreed, and we're here with Ms. Harris.
And so, Ms. Harris, as you're suing for $9,750, how do you arrive at that number? Did you bring evidence to court with you that could show me?
Yes, I did.
I'd like to see it, please. Thank you.
As you can see here, I paid for crematory services, the memorial service, our urn receipts, plane tickets, and therapy bills.
During a routine internal review, we established an error, a labeling error. You did acknowledge, you took responsibility. What are these receipts for? Flights? What, because you had to go fly the ashes back?
No, I flew my brother in from Texas and my aunt in from Florida.
For what, the service?
For the services, yes.
And so you're charging you want to charge Ms. Whitmore for that?
Oh, see, the thing is that we can't recreate this. We can't recreate a service for my father now that we have the ashes. You know, we had multiple people there that can't create the service that we had before. So if I do it again, I would have to pay again. So I believe, yes, she's responsible for those tickets.
All right, you kind of lost me with that one. The defendant told you that she gave the wrong ashes. She offered refunds, other restitutions. You even got your dad's ashes. So it's not like it's all for loss. The other people didn't scatter the ashes. Like, it's okay. You got them. But now you're gonna sue her for therapy bills and flights because now you, for some reason, feel the need to recreate the service that already happened. I'm sorry, but I just feel like it's not necessary for a memorial to contain the person who died. It's about the people that show up, the memories that are shared, the words that are said, the feelings that are felt, and you did all of that. It's not like all of that was for naught just because it turns out that it wasn't your dad's ashes. And I'm sorry, but I feel like therapy bills might go more towards the fact that your dad died rather than the fact that there was a mix-up at the mortuary. Like, yeah, you're struggling. Of course you are. But that's not exactly the defendant's fault. You have a very real reason to be going to therapy. Having a mix-up of ashes, I don't think, is one of them.
Judge Lake, if I may, Your Honor.
I'm listening.
I believe that every family has a hard time with death, and we're in that business. We see it all the time. I think it's beautiful that the family was together. Ms. Harris, I know you all did celebrate properly the homegoing of your beloved.
Miss Whitmore,
At the same time, our business interactions are first, and we are offering to compensate you for everything you've paid, and
but Ms. Whitmore, you
we feel
reassured
that
me.
is
You
that is
reassured me
sufficient.
when I came in to make my father's arrangement that there was a proof, that there was full proof that it would be no
We had
discrepancies.
32 years of full proof.
I know that, but
You are the one-off.
I know.
And it is
Well,
horrible.
this is where, as you are speaking, I hear how sorry you are, Miss Whitmore. But you consistently keep saying this is just this one-off, this one exception, this one-off. And that phrasing is getting under my skin because her father is not a one-off to her.
No, he is not.
But it's the phrasing that's off.
Understood.
It's off.
Understood.
And where this was a labeling clerical issue for you, it is deeply personal
Absolutely.
for Ms. Harris. And you know that because you've been in this business for over 30 years. Your
Absolutely.
family's been in this business. And while I don't think this is personal, this court is sitting here as I'm looking through all of this paperwork, everything she's had to sign. And as I said, it's bringing back so many memories because I have had to do so many funerals. My cousin, who is like my sister, we often say like, when we retire, we could just have a funeral business at this point. I mean, it's kind of our, you've got to sometimes make a joke to keep from crying. So many family members of ours are gone now. And we've done so many funerals that we can just almost just snap and okay, the obituary comes together, this comes together, we got to call the funeral home. But no matter how many times we do it, it doesn't make it any less sacred. It doesn't make it any less sad. And each and every loved one we have tried to send home with honor and grace and love and celebration.
and that's why
Don't interrupt me.
You got it.
And that's why these moments are so deeply personal to each and every single family that passes away, family member that passes away, and the members who are impacted. And so I hear you when you say like, oh my goodness, this is one time, this is awful. But this is negligent. This is the type of information that has to be handled with such care. When you said you had to hire a person from mortuary school to come in and help with the labeling, I said, oh boy, I don't think they have the experience to pull off something like that. I think that is something that needs to go and be in the hands of someone that understands how incredibly important that is.
I agree with a lot of what Judge Lake just said. I feel like it is a very sensitive situation. This is her father. This isn't just some one-off, oh, oopsie, uh-oh, we made an oopsie. Like, this is serious. Now, I don't know how extreme writing down a label would be, but I feel like it's a pretty human error to write down a name spelled incorrectly. Missing an E at the end is not the craziest thing in the world. Sometimes it just happens. But I don't think the defendant is taking this lightly. I mean, she offered to give a refund. She offered all these things to help. And I feel like that's valid. Like, I mean, what more do you want from her? Obviously, the plaintiff wants a lot from her. But I feel like they're like shaming her for hiring someone from the school who would be training for this job, and you're not going to get job experience until you do the job. That's kind of the whole point. And I'm sorry, writing down people's names on a label doesn't seem like the most intense job you can have at the mortuary. So it makes sense why they would outsource something like that to someone who is going to be working in the industry eventually. So I don't blame the defendant for hiring a student, and I don't blame the plaintiff for being upset that this all happened, but I am kind of like, it happened. So you can either accept what the defendant wanted to give you, accept that it happened, you have your dad's ashes now, it's not like they're lost completely, and just move on. Is this really something you want to be going through when you're grieving the loss of your father?
And this is difficult because, like I said, I wasn't even thinking to myself that you could have anyway purposefully done this. This is not about that. And yet when you say this is just a one-off, it really makes me feel uncomfortable because it's not. Now, Ms. Harris, you are suing for $9,750.
Yes, ma'am.
$1,300 of it is basically from plane tickets that you flew people in. Yes, family. We had half family there, but also, Your Honor, this is very devastating for me and my family. We end up having to take counseling classes after this. So the amount you see is also including the counseling classes that we had to take. I saw that, but that wasn't $1,300. The $1,300 was just the plane tickets.
Yes, ma'am. That's what it's cost. We had to get family here.
So when you offered to refund her for the total service, how much was that? What amount did you offer her?
Well,
That she declined and decided to come to court instead.
okay.
Do you remember? Do you know, Ms. Harris?
The actual number.
I think it was about 5,000.
I was thinking it was
something like that. It was
like
way under what I'm asking for, and I
don't
believe
have the
what I'm
exact
asking
number.
for is valid. What she gave me was what she felt like the grievance that she thought I should go through. But I believe what the numbers that I have here is exactly what I'm owed. My family is devastated. We can't remake this service over. We can't relive this.
So you're putting a number on your grief? Like, once you get that amount of money, then you'll be perfectly fine. Something tells me that that's not true. I don't think any amount is going to make you feel better that your dad is dead. I understand this is an upsetting thing. It's okay that you're upset about it, but getting her to pay for your family members' plane tickets and your therapy, I just can't see how that is justified.
Do you understand that you still celebrated his life?
Yeah, but we didn't celebrate with how he wanted it, Your Honor. He had been fishing there for 30 years at that lake. He wanted to be buried. He wanted to be scattered there, right there. So, and we wanted to do that in front of his family, in front of his loved ones, in front of his service members. We even threw service memorabilia into the lake, you know, with what we presume was his ashes.
So the other family never got their family's ashes because she had already spread them?
Exactly, Your Honor.
Did you ever receive the ashes of your father?
Yes, and I went through great lengths to make sure she received them. And that's why I am very, very attached to this. And forgive me for seeming as though I don't care. We've gone through great lengths to make sure this doesn't happen again.
I understand.
This,
and
this was horrible. And to get her
this
dad's
is why
ashes
this
was
is why
very important.
When I'm speaking, you don't. I appreciate that you've gone through great lengths, and you should. It's horrific. This could tear down the business that your father created 30-something years ago. Is he still alive?
No.
This is his legacy. I don't think you need to have mortuary science interns doing anything related to tagging, labeling in the computer. That's not, we don't pay for that when we are burying our loved one. We want someone experienced. We want someone to understand how gravely important it is, pun intended, that you all get this right. And you didn't.
The other family never got the ashes? You scattered somebody else's ashes, and you don't feel horrible about that? Oh my gosh, you should be grateful that that didn't happen to you. We can all agree that it is horrible. You didn't get the ashes, but at the end of the day, you still got them.
These people would have come probably for this celebration whether the physical ashes were present or not, right? You would want them there to celebrate. So this court has to evaluate if all of these expenses you've set forth, and I've read through them all, which total $9,750, are reasonable expenses. Now, this court does find that the plane tickets are a far stretch. However, you've only had her pay for 6 or 7 counseling sessions. And this court finds that the $1,300 that you really wanted for the plane tickets should really be added on for the emotional distress, which is real.
Yes, ma'am.
We find that your funeral home, it was negligent. That negligence then caused Ms. Harris, her family, extreme emotional distress. And for that reason, you breached a duty of care that was owed to her and her family. And that breach is the direct cause of the damages set forth here. So it is the opinion of this court, judgment for the plaintiff for $9,750. Court is adjourned.
Next time, I think maybe you should have pictures of your deceased people that you have to make sure you have the right person in that urn.
We've added that to our protocol in addition to several things.
Well, Judge Lake ruled in favor of the plaintiff. I'm actually surprised that she gave the full amount, but it wasn't necessarily for the plane tickets, but for emotional distress. I, for one, would argue that the plaintiff probably still would have been going to therapy to help with the loss of her father, even if the ashes didn't get mixed up. But I do understand that it was negligent. It was the mortuary's fault that this happened, and the plaintiff is entitled to some kind of benefit because of it. But I don't know. I'm curious to know your thoughts on this case. Do you think the plaintiff was entitled to the entire amount? Do you think the defendant was being negligent by hiring a student? What do you think about the concept of ashes and spreading your loved ones? I want to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Leave a like and a follow, and I'll see you guys next time.